Coordinated ventilation. All teams should be ready to go before initiating ventilation. So we should have our post team ready to go in, our search team ready to go in, our vent team heading up. In a perfect world, it's all going to happen simultaneously. Obviously, we don't deal in perfect, but that's one of the things we're trying to get to happen. Helps control the amount of oxygen allowed into the structure, or puts it in at the right time when hopefully you're getting to the seat of the fire with a charged hose stream. Crew should communicate observations to the IC and exterior crew, so everyone's on the same channel. We can all hear what's going on. I think we've got the seat of the fire here. Okay, yep, we've almost got the hole cut for ventilation, and boy, that's a nice thing to hear. Complete rescue without increasing the hazard, harming entry firefighters, spreading the fire, or allowing fire to enter rapid fire development. So if we do everything as coordinated, perfect textbook, those are all pluses. Yep. All right. What's that thing? All right. Ventilation applications during overhaul. So overhaul is defined as the search for and extinguishment of hidden or remaining fires. So this is after the main body of fire has been knocked down, as in this picture. We are going through and checking for hot spots, doing our secondary search, all of that stuff. Accelerates the clearing of smoke and hot gases, so we're getting that stuff out there. You'll hear fans running and all that kind of stuff. Yep, we're trying to get all that stuff out there. We want to make this as clean as possible. We got the 4 gas monitors going. We're waiting for oxygen to hit somewhere around 20.9%. At a certain point, your IC is going to let you take your pack off, but we got to see what the monitor says on that one. Minimizes smoke damage and property damage. So overhaul, wear your pack, wear your SCBA, but we will be doing ventilation during that. Not every fire you go on will you be doing vertical ventilation, firefighters through the roof, cutting the hole, taking the pipe hole, breaking down the ceiling, etc. On some fires you will. Sometimes you'll be going with horizontal ventilation, using existing openings. Spring and fall when windows are open, okay, let's go with that. Sometimes you will be taking out glass and doors and cutting that hole. But just wait for the order and you'll know what to do on that point. They'll let you know. 3 reasons for performing ventilation at a structure fire. Who's got one? Florida.
To get out some smoke.
Get some smoke out. What's another one?
To help create a pathway for firefighters inside.
Okay, make it more visible for firefighters to see where they're headed.
Try to cool down the car.
Can remove heat? Yep. All right.
Make the structure more tenable for people trapped inside.
Yep. Occupants more tenable. All right. Good. 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 All right. Safety considerations related to ventilation. So, successful tactical ventilation conducted in conjunction with fire attack, which is what we want, depends on, number 1, careful planning. So that's training. That's what we're going to be doing. Communication of observations to the IC. So entry team is going in, okay? Well, the IC might be able to see you. You're saying that for every other crew on the fire ground. They know you're going in. Maybe the vent crew is up on the roof and they can't see you. The systematic application of procedures. So systematic is step by step, everything going as it should. So you should be entering. We should be doing searching. We should be venting if appropriate. Coordination with other fireground activities, recognition that all openings are a form of ventilation and can impact the flow path, and recognition of advantages and disadvantages of environmental conditions at the scene. So what's going on with the structure? Are there windows and doors open that we can't do anything about? What's the wind doing? How is that affecting the structure? What's the speed of the wind, et cetera, et cetera. All right, and then situational awareness, every chapter talks about that, so it's something that you should be able to start adding to your knowledge base is situational awareness, which basically what? What am I doing? What does this look like? Where am I in the structure? What are other ways out of the structure? Just knowing what's going on around you and preparing for the next step. Has anyone got a better definition of situational awareness than that? Ashby.
Being able to kind of predict future events that might happen.
Good, I like that. Portelli, you got one?
Being aware of your current surroundings and common occurrences,
Yeah, I like that.
changing conditions.
I like that. It's,
The proper way of keeping a firefighter safe using what's going on at the scene, what are you doing, and then what could be happening.
okay, I like that. Ollie?
Using your current surroundings to try to better prepare for a future incident, I guess. I don't know if incident would be the right word, using what's going on now to prepare you for what might happen.
There you go. I like that better. Good. All right, so situational awareness, which we talked about, hard to define, but we're hitting the main things. Regarding tactical ventilation, conditions that should be communicated to crew members and or a supervisor. Location and extent of the fire, whoever finds it. Okay, if I open up the structure and I see fire below me, I say, I see heavy fire coming out of our vent opening on the Alpha Bravo corner of the structure. Okay, so that way, if there's an interior crew, they just hit the stairs and it's just a complete smoke blanket. Now they know, aha, Alpha Bravo corner, that's where the fire is. Let's start moving in that direction. Changes to fire behavior, spread, and growth, including signs of rapid fire development. So changes. Okay, we know what a fire is going to do. It's going to grow. It's going to grow until you can put water on it. We know what doors do. We know all of that stuff. So out of the ordinary stuff, this room is going to flash. Okay, that's going to be a change that I want to communicate on the radio. I want everyone to know that. Effect that ventilation at a location will have on fire and or exposure, so that's probably not going to be communicated other than the fact that we are going to ventilate and expect some changes, hopefully for the good. The effectiveness of planned ventilation is the desired flow and exhaust efficiency. Okay, if it goes well, great. Locations where smoke is escaping, so obviously where we're making our vent openings. Type of building construction can't help us figure out how tough it's going to be to open that building, but usually we're talking doors and windows, usually, roof, occasionally. And then the building structural integrity. So again, if we get onto the roof, no one knows the roof but the crew that's going on the roof. Okay? And if the roof is starting to sag underneath your weight, we don't want you up there. Okay, so don't say this roof is saggy. I think it's going to collapse. It's not safe. We're not going on the roof, and the IC is going to be fine. I wouldn't want you to do that, but I'm relying on you. That's your call, and we're good with that. So now we go to Plan B. Always have them start your Plan B in this. More of the same. Go ahead.
So like for the winter, like with how icy and like snowy the roofs could be, would that
I'm sorry,
be
once more?
for like using like in Michigan, for example, we get snow.
Yeah.
Would you ever do that in the wintertime because of how icy the roofs could be, or?
Oh, yeah. It's going to depend. So snow, how is it going to affect vertical ventilation? We're going to try it. Okay, our ladder is going to go right through the snow onto the roof, and we're going to go and climb up the ladder. But again, look at buildings. Look at pitches. Okay, the standard pitch, has anyone not been on a roof before? And we've got a roof prop, so it's no big deal. But most of your pitches, and I don't know enough about roofing to give you, it's got a certain so many feet and so much angle, etc. I don't know what that number is, but we've all probably walked on a roof before. Nice weather. If it's wet, if it's icy, if it's snowy, be prepared for slipping, so work off your roof ladder. It becomes a little bit more important in those situations. But sometimes the pitch is like this. If you've ever seen any of those, TV shows, where they've got that Gothic mansion, they might have something like that. We're probably going to, if we want to ventilate, that's probably going to be off a ladder truck with a platform that we can stand on, as opposed to that steep of an angle. So then the IC has to ask themselves, is this something I want to do? Because this is going to be a labor-intensive, time-consuming operation to do that. So is there a better way? Would horizontal ventilation work? Because I can take out a window in seconds, as opposed to take out a roof at that angle, which means getting a ladder up close, setting the ladder up, all of the outriggers, a crew up there, a saw, just going to take a while. So yeah, we think about the effects of the weather, especially up here in Michigan, and those things, but we just have to be extra careful.
instead of going up on the roof?
I haven't seen that done. Why? So we would have to be working off a ground level. Well, it could be off an aerial as well. And if we're going to be an aerial, then why not go for the peak as opposed to the flat wall? And if you're going to go to a flat wall, why not a window instead? So I'm just thinking it through. So that's probably why I haven't seen it, because it just would take more time. All right, so more of the conditions of building contents. So that's going to be that one where we can't ventilate this roof. Okay, we're up on the roof, we got a hole cut in there, and they've got storage and plywood. So we can't get to it. Okay, so we all know that. Now again, do we go to horizontal ventilation or something like that? That's going to be a call for the IC, they'll let you know. But at that point, get down from the roof. You've communicated that we can't make this happen. Now on the roof, be a little bit resourceful. Take your pike pole and go a little bit to every direction and see if maybe it's just right up by there, above that scuttle hole into the attic. I put a piece of plywood here, 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 and here. And that's all the further I'm gonna go, is up into the attic and grab, this is my Halloween stuff, this is my end of the year holiday, because I can't say Christmas. This is my Valentine's, this is my, whatever, those things. But no further than that. So take your pike pole and go a little further. And if you hit pay dirt over there, and well, that's not going to be much. That's going to be insulation and drywall. So if it goes through somewhere, then you might need to extend your ventilation opening down from the roof. But you already cut a hole. Okay, just extend it down a little bit further so it's kind of directly. It doesn't have to go up, hit it, and then head over. If you can. If it's going to work its way up there, then great. But check around before you give up completely on the fact that, nope, they've got stuff underneath here. It might not be the whole roof. Indications of potential structural collapse, especially roofs and floors, so whatever you can see from your vantage point. Locations of overhead power lines, solar panels, and guide wires. Avoid all of those. Just easy, step away, don't worry about it. Solar panels might be a little bit trickier because sometimes they take up a good chunk or a percentage of the roof, but try to work around those. Don't think too much on it. Well, if I break this, then I can get, no. It's too time consuming. Work around it. Locations of 2 escape locations for the roof crew. So you're responsible for one. The probably RIT team downstairs is responsible for getting you your second way off the roof, and then they're going to communicate that to you, where it is, what side of the structure. That's going to be your emergency escape route. Changes to the roof or the floor structural integrity. So if this is starting to get saggy or spongy, let's hurry it up. And then wind direction and strength. So again, you might not need to say that because we all see it, feel it, know it. Unplanned ventilation and structural integrity. So unplanned can be, here's an example, failure of windows, doors, or structural members as a result of heat fire exposure. So if there is a flashover, that can blow out glass. We've seen some examples of that. Doors can fail in structures, especially interior doors, those 1/3 rated ones. And then a collapse. That's all going to change the ventilation profile. That's unplanned ventilation. And that can influence fire behavior in vent-limited fires. Obviously, it's now giving it unlimited oxygen. And any assumptions about any structure fire to guide decisions about ventilation. The structure consists of lightweight construction. Again, about the 90s and sooner, think of that. And fire is vent limited, again, unless you see a lot of open doors and windows and like maybe spring or fall or something like that. Wind conditions. Any opening allows the surrounding atmosphere to affect what's happening inside. So that's what we call a wind-driven fire, if the wind is coming through an opening and adding ventilation to the picture. Firefighters should use the wind to their advantage during ventilation. So if you can plan around the wind, even better. And I don't know if we're going to have a picture, but they used to show a picture of, a windward and a leeward side of a bedroom. They said, well, open this side first, then open this side. How many people actually have not just 2 windows, because if you have 2 windows, they're probably one corner and the other corner. How many have a window on one side of the structure, Alpha, and Charlie, or Bravo and Delta? Anyone? in your whole house, maybe a master bedroom? One. Okay, so that's how uncommon that is, to have that type of a situation. So you're not gonna see that often. But if you can use the wind to your advantage, use that. If you have your choice of, we want to do horizontal ventilation, okay, where's it gonna help me the best? Okay, near a exhaust opening. Winds as slow as 10 miles an hour can affect the structure of fire, what's going on inside if you open that window. Go ahead.
Also, if you were vertically ventilating and there was like skylights on the roof, would you break out the skylights before cutting the wood?
I would. It's a direct path and it can be done in seconds. Because skylights typically are bring light into the living space. So I don't have to go through the roof and then go through the ceiling and take all those cuts out. A skylight might not be 4x4. You know, I've got one in my house. It's probably 3x4-ish, but it's close enough. Okay, I can be in and off the roof in under 1 minute and make a good size opening. And so that's a good bet. Oh, time? Yep. All right, hello folks. And now, we'll just finish up this slide. Wind conditions, fire should do wind to advantage. Winds as slow as 10 miles an hour, and firefighters are safest working with the wind at their back. So again, if you on the other side, then the wind's coming towards you, theoretically. So try to get the wind at your back when possible. All right, questions? Let's go one more. This is a good one. We'll save this one. We'll pick up here tomorrow.